time for button?
Sure, let us press the button.
It is done.
It is done. The button, it has been pressed, as was foretold. Hi, this is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars with Crash and Ellie and EO playing. And hopefully they will tell me what happened last time on the recording, not just before the recording.
We can neither confirm nor deny that any investigation of the basements did take place. We do not comment on ongoing missions.
Good thing there's no paparazzi here yet. Mental note, add more paparazzi.
I did level telekinesis other up to a horribly large number. Which is to say the paparazzi will be able to take drone shots. I should probably lift them with their cameras so they can take the shots.
Yes, you should. Yes. And also, this just means that if I add paparazzi, they will have to be from the Ministry of Culture, in particular from the Sith who are part of the Ministry of Culture.
That's fine. We don't answer to them.
No. That's true. They answer to philosophy, the sphere of philosophy.
It's so nice to meet you. Tell me, are your taxes fully paid up? You don't know.
Honestly.
Well, pull up a chair. I have the forms necessary to figure this out. This is going to be an educational experience for one of us.
No, it will be wonderful. I can make a documentary out of this.
I'm
the way that
looking forward to it.
Tax collectors are... Oh, no.
Half an hour in, they regret everything they just said about turning this into a documentary.
No, they will not. That's
Rand will actively attempt to make sure they regret it.
Yes, and they will actively make sure that Rand regrets.
Jokes on
have a reputation.
Jokes on them. Rand likes paperwork.
That's all right. This makes this makes a good montage.
And occasionally using telekinesis other to break accidentally the recording equipment.
Well, that will just get charged to them. You never know. Anyway, right. Does anyone else have any input into what happened last time?
After I was incredibly unhelpful.
Mm-hmm. Ellie? What would Antuxa like to contribute to this?
At the advice of my lawyer, I'm staying off the record.
Stan?
I don't exactly understand why we're not just delivering Vivi to the hut as the saboteur.
So we had a good excuse for exploring the lower basements.
Right. You people went exploring the lower basements. You found some slightly hidden, mostly just by being out of the way, stairs leading down. You opened the stairs sliding floor door up by discovering with a crit success that apparently this is like Imperial tech, and also they left the master password the same. It was password in the Sith pure blood language, or user admin/password. You know how that goes. You therefore got to wander around and find all of the perfectly legal contraband that was being stored there because you didn't trip the alarms because you found the password, because it was password, because you got a crit success. So there was no fight with a combat security droid. Oh well. You talked to somebody who was very much, why are you here? Huh? What? No, everything's fine. I'm not being held prisoner. I have a perfectly nice apartment over there. It has a Keurig. And then you escorted a weakly protesting Vivi out to the elevator that you had found, and are now proceeding to have the elevator doors close. Is that about right?
From a certain point of view.
I can neither confirm nor deny, but yes, about right.
Okay. You are in the elevator. Vivi is making it go by shoving her data pad up against the thing. It goes up. Your lift goes up a little bit, and then she shoves the data pad against the thing and hits the stop button and looks at everyone with a somewhat sulky, petulant pout. Can we have a talk?
Isn't that what we've been doing, darling?
Well, no, not really.
You
Well,
ready
then,
to
by all
have a talk?
means.
Well, I don't know. I don't really want people listening in is the problem. And I don't know if there's a camera or something in the roof of this elevator trying to look down my dress. Or up my dress, for that matter. Ooh, tuts. We could probably have a talk over by the shields if you wanted. I don't think there's anything there.
Well, very well, if the other two don't object.
Blink, blink, blink.
I, for one, am interested in seeing where this is going.
I'm so glad you finally decided you were ready to have a talk.
Fine. Shoves her datapad against the elevator panel again, presses buttons. You let out at a level where you are not going up straight. You're not going to the hut's quarters. You can go down a few hallways. Theater of the mind, isn't it great? Into the garden. Well, you know, the hedge maze made out of cactus vines.
I will resist. I will resist. I am one with the Force is with me. I am one with the Force is with me. My rage will set me free, but not yet.
She leads you around the edge of the hedge maze, as opposed to going through it, to over where the shield generator theoretically is. I mean, there's something there, kind of, and a fair amount of cobbled together barrier. She sighs. Look, why do you think that I'm in trouble?
No. I don't think you're in trouble. I think you are trouble.
You say the sweetest things.
I try.
Aww. She goes blink, blink at the other two. Look, what are you really...
I have some thoughts, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. Crash?
Yes?
Crash, are you muted?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
Rand doesn't have psychometry, so Rand didn't actually see anything. So Rand is leaving it up to the people who saw things.
I see. Now, Vivi, do you know what a Darth is?
Kind of Sith.
Yes, a particularly high-ranking Sith.
It's a rank. Okay.
And Darths have a certain, well, they work together sometimes and work against each other sometimes, and in general have kind of a cutthroat attitude toward each other. And one of the problems that our Darth has is that while he is perfectly cutthroat around other Sith, at his core, he's kind of a people pleaser, and he doesn't like upsetting people. And so
Most skeptical look.
he sends us places to do his work for him when it might mean upsetting people. And so I swoosh, and I preen, and I draw the attention, and also I do terrible, terrible things to people who draw my wrath or who insult my fashion sense.
Why would anyone insult your fashion sense?
To get a rise out of me. Getting a rise out of me is not generally a good idea, but people do it.
I mean, that's just stupid and also wrong.
To be fair, they only do it once.
The point is, dear, that I am a proper villain, and I know my own. And also...
Oh, you're flattering me, too.
I have seen you tampering with the shields. Or someone who looks very much like you.
She holds up a finger, looking somewhat perplexed. In the past day that you've been here?
Like I said, darling, I swish and I preen, but I also have some very nasty tricks up my sleeve.
You wouldn't believe what she can see.
You're saying that you were actually sneaking around here the whole time instead of being in a train wreck?
She said what she saw. She didn't say where she was. And if that's confusing,
Also, darling,
good.
you know that I cloud men's minds, and nobody sees me who I don't want to see me. Would it really surprise you?
Possibly because you'd need a speeder or something. A fast speeder. Maybe an air car.
Well, the details of my feats of legerdemain are irrelevant.
You're
What
trying to
matters
say you saw
is,
the past without being there, right?
yes, if
Okay.
not to put too fine a point on it.
So what do you need to do about the shield? Anything?
Well, we'd
Well,
prefer. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
We'd prefer for the hut to stop complaining about it to our boss.
I mean, the shields are kind of flaky. They were like that when they got here. That's why they had to open up the thing and all.
Okay, but why were you poking around in them?
Well, how much can I pay you to make sure that this conversation doesn't go to chalk?
I don't
Rand does
report
not give a
Chog.
negative number.
What
So if-
happens to Chug, or how happy Chug is, isn't our concern unless he's yelling about not giving us money or trying to get lawyers or making a diplomatic stink.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest, darling. When I got back from the desert, I was half expecting to have to kill him myself.
Ooh. I mean, if you want to, that'd be kind of
No, see, if he had deliberately caused the train crash, well, then I would have had an excuse. But this way, there's paperwork.
Right. Okay. I needed to find something out.
Okay, did you find it out?
Yes.
May I know what it was?
Oh, Tinnick, the fellow that we talked to down in the basement.
You found out Tinnick.
I found out where he is.
Ah,
And if you could keep looking for somebody else who might have sabotaged the shields for just another 24 hours, 48 at the most, I will be out of your hair.
so I want to make sure I understand correctly.
Mhm.
You are going to bring down the shields so that you can sneak in and kidnap Tinnick and then disappear sometime within the next 24 to 48 hours. And
Mhm.
then we are to...
You can say that they were sabotaged after that, and it'll be clear who it was. I can
see.
leave a note. Tinnick owes someone a lot of credits, and he ran out on them.
Ah, indeed. Well,
Just-
Antessa looks at Sen and Ran. Now,
Sorry.
I mean, going after people who owe a lot of credits is sort of our business.
Yes, although he doesn't owe the credits to anyone we answer to.
Oh, no, I'm
And-
just saying we understand. Not that we're going to do
Oh,
this
yeah, we understand the
purpose.
motivations. And also, this would usually fall into the category of not our problem. However, by tampering with the shields, you made Chog contact our boss, who then made it
No,
our
he was
problem.
going to do that anyway. He was going to do that anyway because of the missing power packs in the rifles and because of the turrets, and I had nothing to do with either of those.
Yes, but we solved those issues very quickly. We're still here, and we're walking around the basement levels because you decided that you were going to take up more of our time.
Well,
to be fair, you were after me. And wasn't it a nice little bit of exercise?
it was. It was. I had fun.
You got to try out, I
And
believe,
I can-
2 new outfits.
I did. And they are
I have-
glorious.
Uh-huh.
Sen, please go ahead.
I have an out of character question.
Okay.
Hasn't Tuxa told us that she was poisoning the other secretary candidates?
Oh, possibly not.
Okay, then. I can't ask about that in character, then.
Oh, well, I was just about to bring it up.
Oh, okay. Excellent. I don't need to ask about it in character.
Oh, and just so I can get the story straight when we make our formal report, you're not going to get in any trouble. This is a formal report to our superior. And frankly, the Empire doesn't particularly care about the squabbles that happen between huts.
Oh, good.
So, just so I can cross the T on this one, so to speak, when you poisoned the other secretary candidates, it was to ensure that you were in a position to do this.
Nobody died.
No, that's true.
Some people
And
got sick.
my friend Manda.
She'll be okay. Do you need an antidote?
Well, that would be nice, but
Okay.
as a gesture of good faith, you know.
I'll have to go back to my quarters to get it, okay? You can escort me if you want.
You know, I believe I will.
Also, as an expression of gratitude, I can give you some credits now, and when I'm paid, I can give enough credits that hopefully your boss would be okay with this, right?
If you let us verify that the shields are working before you tamper with them again, so that we can dot that I.
Oh.
And then wait until we're on our way to the shuttle port, or preferably off-planet, by the time you tamper with them again, then I don't see any reason why our boss should care about this at all. We verified that the Empire delivered the goods as promised.
That's fair. So, can you make sure that the cameras aren't watching this area? The cameras are, like, pretty bad at night, but it's not really nighttime yet.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about that, but Ren and Sen, I am assured, are very good with that sort of thing.
Pink, 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 pink.
Every time she makes those eyes go bink, Rand wants to be disagreeable. Those soulless, lifeless looking eyes. Black like a doll's eyes.
Like a Funko Pop's eyes.
Yes. Black like a Funko Pop's eyes. Head like a Funko Pop. Large and empty. You go in the water. The Funko Pop goes in the water.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Bink, bink. Bink, bink. Bink, bink.
People can make appropriate rolls to look for cameras and whether they might be aimed in the correct direction or not, with a certain amount of discrete pointing at locations where there might be cameras from Vivi.
Looking for the cameras without looking like we're looking for the cameras, because it makes it kind of obvious who sabotaged the cameras if you see someone on camera looking directly at the camera and pointing at it.
Yeah, I mean, just a little.
Would that be a forced entry roll?
Let's see. Forced entry is usually about how to break things, but I think
or
you might
computer
do
operation.
Perception.
Perception.
Electronic operations, security, or straight perception.
Fun fact, these are all the same number.
Can I make a perception-based mechanical aptitude roll?
Yes. You can meditate upon where the power sources are in the force. Hello, 333 for Ran on success.
I have never rolled that low before.
7. You rolled a 3. Congrats.
It doesn't matter what skill I was rolling. I rolled 3 1s on 3d6.
You win. Yep.
And rolling lower is better in this game.
Yep. And the Foundry thing does in fact do a great big green glow of critical success.
We have the Robert Downey Jr. playing Sherlock Holmes scenario of zooming in on every single camera and how to disable them properly.
Between you and Sin, you have got every camera, including the ones that are kind of busted, and the one just because, well, sand got into them.
And the cameras that are watching those cameras.
There aren't that many of those, really. You get the impression that somewhere somebody decided to do budget security. It's perfectly good security if all the cameras are working, but if one of them gets to be a little bit not working, it makes a lot of interesting blind spots.
And,
Funny that.
That's the problem with sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere, and that's bad optics.
Sen, you can tell which of the cameras are actually just fake little boxes to look like cameras.
Oh, yay.
Made by Seven is... Between the two of you, you have got everything, and oh, by the way, you can sense the power flows of the shields, etc., and frankly, they probably are suffering a little bit from the same problem that the turrets had of wanting a consistent, strong power source, as opposed to a somewhat inconsistent, usually strong enough power source.
Did they bury the wires covered in oil-soaked rags directly in the sand? You're supposed to use a conduit. You use ground-rated conduit. The only thing that's not going in the ground is the ground wire. It's going into a small bucket over there. It's not even a metal bucket.
But is there blood in it?
No. They put a small amount of dirt.
Ground, isn't it?
I'd say my urge to kill is rising, but with wiring like this, my work is done for me.
I'm not the one doing the wiring.
No. No, you are not.
This is not my fault. This is not my fault. Oh, the other thing that you can detect, Sin, with that nice roll is that there are a couple of power sources basically buried in the sand outside the walls. Batteries. Droid batteries. You're pretty sure.
Why is someone burying droid batteries outside the walls?
Vivi goes, shh.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine here. Right? It's just something weird with the wiring, I'm sure.
Yes, but we need to show that there isn't
Sin and
something
nods.
wrong with it in order for us to be out of your hair.
Anything outside the walls is not a problem, right?
No, you misunderstand. We are the ones who do the hand-wavy thing and just make an assertion. Not you.
I don't wave my hands at all. Beak.
That's probably why it's not working, actually, but I'm not going to say that out loud.
Right.
Beth, that's almost seizure-inducing.
Oh, sorry.
Those eyes blink way too much. I found worse ones. I found worse ones that I did not post because they went super speed.
Yeah, the super speed is a bit much. Okay, so which one of do you know tech stuff? Any of you? She looks at the three.
We're more space wizards than space engineers.
I know some stuff.
Okay, so if I tell you which wires to put back, you'll know that I'm telling you the right thing, right?
Maybe.
Okay. So if you can make the cameras get like, I don't know, sand in the lens or something. She looks hopefully at you all. Or at least the one that's well, a little sandstorm right now would be really convenient. You could be showing off for me, right?
It would be hyperbole for Rand to say there's never been something he wanted to do less. However, he still doesn't want to do that.
He doesn't want to show off for Vivi?
No. Unless he wants to show her how high she can fly.
I mean,
Because
if you set her down, that would be nice, but... Well.
Our time has been wasted because of her and her side gig. Well, her main gig. Never mind.
Either that or I'm going to have to wait until night, or you're going to have to be the ones who actually, do the fixing part. You have to connect the green wires back together and reground the orange one. Okay?
Okay.
You think you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to even look in there. I'm going to be looking over your shoulder and looking like an idiot, okay?
Okay.
Think.
Sen blinks back.
Oh, I like you so much. Sen, give me an appropriate roll.
Sen has learned her language.
I believe if you do another mechanical aptitude and make it, then you add the degree of success. Is that how we were running that for?
Yeah, I'm going to spend a couple of fatigue.
Okay. Made by 8.
Well, that will nicely wipe out the -4 penalty for doing a different LOPS than I should be unless this is LOPS security. Is it shield security?
I could see shields as being security. I mean, Star Wars uses shields a lot just for security purposes. So I'd say that more. I'd say that you could use it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think shields probably overlap, military and whatnot. 17. Okay, it wasn't a crit failure because of that boost, but there is so much sand in this thing now that you cannot quite figure out how to ground that wire properly. And also, this other wire seems to have come loose. And what the criff even is this? Has someone been trying to mess around with this with a stick?
Who dumped like 3 buckets of sand in here?
It was not me.
It was a sealed unit when it was delivered. Should have been. Anyway, I made telekinesis other by 12. Do I remove the sand?
Okay, there's the sand out. Sen, I am going to be cruel and say that to maintain the mechanical aptitude, it needs another roll on it.
Okay.
Oh, wow, just straight made that one without spinning, made by 8. Very nice. Go for your LOPS security next with that bonus. That one makes by 6. You can, in fact, repair everything so that it is no longer sabotaged. And it's also sparkling clean because it has no sand in it anymore. Isn't that wonderful? You can close it up, protect it from the sand. You can power it on if you feel like it.
All right, let's do that.
It hums into operation and establishes a good, strong shield. And a few minutes later, it starts going sort of flickery, sputty a bit here and there. And then it firms up again. And then a little bit later, it goes flicker. And I am not doing
Why is that cat here?
That is not... For a change, she's not. She must be upstairs sleeping.
No, it goes to flicker. That's what you
flutters.
said.
Well, yeah. We do not need the cat.
Flicker
Besides,
disagrees.
I'm not sure Star Wars has cats. This is true. Except at the moment where she's asleep at the top of the stairs, looking like she's dead. She just sort of lies down and puts her head down and looks like a dead cat, and it's very upsetting. It's like, Flicker, please, please, sleep like a regular cat.
That is how regular cats sleep. All their bones turn into jelly.
She manages to do it in a way that the others do not, which looks incredibly... You have to go over and stare at her black void sides and determine if the fur is moving, because that's the only way you can tell she's breathing. It's alarming. Anyway, the shield appears to be working for a value of working that, well, it's military tech, possibly somewhat experimental, and it was meant for a power supply of the most up-to-date Imperial cables.
So once again, the issue is that they didn't meet the minimum requirements and expected it to work anyway.
Pretty much, although it works bit more reliably this way.
Yeah.
But see, you fixed it. Something must have gotten jostled. So, we're all good here? I just need to get you the antidote?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I can go to my room, and whoever wants to come along can come along. And she blinks bat at Ran, and probably no one will make assumptions.
Well, if they do, who are they to talk?
Right, exactly.
People say all sorts of things about Sith anyway.
Ooh.
Yes, but most of them
Great.
are true.
Really? Does that include that trashy romance novel I read?
No.
No.
No, it does not include that.
My lawyer has informed me that I should deny any involvement with that.
Publishing it or writing it?
Like I said.
Anyway, this way.
I like how there's two kind of Sith here.
I mean, there's two kinds of Sith, although which two tends to change depending on what the
Yes.
definition of kinds of Sith is. I mean,
and currently
you've got
one
two
kind of Sith
non-humans.
might have actually turned their fan fiction into legitimate fiction.
Oh, I was implying that it was about me.
You never know. Vivi will be happy to chatter about dubious literature involving Sith and or Jedi while she goes back to her room with however many of you wish to. Rand, you make your will roll by 2.
I'm just trying to maintain composure and not want to just go to my own room and sleep for a million years. Ostensibly
Once
to
she
look
gets-
after our entourage that we're slowly building.
Yep, you do have an entourage. You do have a couple of scruffy young men, humans, tucked away in your entourage room who have not apparently ventured out from it, at least not that you've heard.
We're going to name this one
When you
A.
go-
We're going to name that one Burp. And that one is going to be Meepo.
Oh, no. No, those would be 2 lizards and a small green alien.
Who eats faces. And occasionally table legs.
She has mostly table legs. She has usually headbutted people's faces, trying to get them in the nose.
Yes, but she does that with her mouth
Like a
open.
proper little berserker. Sometimes.
And then she
Sometimes
suddenly
she just
turns
does a
into an
forehead
Asimar
butt.
for some strange reason that the enemy can never figure out.
It's hilarious. Anyway, in the room, Vivi hands over, after digging around into her cosmetics, while she has a lot of vials and things that seem to be labeled perfume and, lipstick and makeup and hair dye, and here's a little vial that she hands over and says, 1 antidote.
Thank you.
And I'll take a sip of it if you want me to, although it's better if you mix it in water first.
Zen contemplates it like they are attempting to resist the urge to test it for actually being an antidote themselves.
You do have resistant to ingested poison,
Yes,
don't
I
you?
do.
I mean, don't use it all up, okay? It just takes a little bit. You put in a little bit, you drink it, and when she feels better, then you don't feed her anymore. Because if you feed too much, then you get the worst taste in your mouth and a horrible hot headache.
Got it.
Great. Also, like I promised, she rummages around more and hands out basically some cred sticks, just sort of hands to everybody.
Rand doesn't take it.
Bing, bing. I did promise.
Yes, you did.
They're not bombs.
And I
They're not
appreciate the
bombs.
promise. I do appreciate the promise. But I don't need that. So I won't be taking it.
Well,
I
then
mean-
I will.
Right.
Be my guest.
She hands the collection of cred sticks off in the direction of Antux and Sin.
Our master probably will be happier if we got money out of someone.
See? And we certainly want your master to be happier, right?
Usually.
Right. That's how these things work. Okay. It's all fixed, and you can all leave anytime. Well, after you've got your friend patched up and okay. And I need to go back to work because I'm supposed to do secretary things like determine how many of the power packs in the rifles are fine and how many aren't fine and all that good stuff. So, can I go now? Or am I being detained?
So
Or am I
you're
being
saying that
detained?
we wouldn't even need to have been called over if you'd done your job and counted the rifles instead of tampering with things.
I didn't tamper with the rifles.
No, but you
And
didn't count
I
them.
was trying to
And we
count.
were told there were
I was
ones that
trying to
were
count them.
missing.
Oh, that's what I was told. I thought they counted them.
And instead of verifying it, you messed with shields, yes.
And the turrets certainly were having problems. I mean, I didn't want to try firing those things. They might have blown up on me. Besides, when a bunch of soldiers, especially the Gamorreans, say that the rifles aren't enough, then I don't want to go down and argue with them because they might bite me. I'm little and fragile. Don't I look little and fragile?
No.
You're very good at that.
And unarmed.
Well, it would be highly improper for me to search you.
Certainly not without buying me a drink first.
Rand wants to leave.
Rand can leave if he desires.
Rand does not like this person's personality at all.
Sen looks to Antuxa for indication on whether we are finished here or what.
I'm afraid we really ought to make our report and then get to the spaceport.
Like, walk you to the hut's place if you want, at least halfway, because I have absolutely got to finish up some paperwork. Or I will get in so much trouble.
Very well.
Says the person who's
We
planning
need
on skipping
to-
out of here the first opportunity they have.
Maybe.
We do need to give Manda,
Yes.
Okay, I just gotta put my cosmetics back in order then. I won't keep you three.
Very well. Good luck with, everything.
You too. Do Sith do May the Force be with you, or is that just Jedi?
that's just
trashy-
Jedi.
Okay, because the trashy romance book had like both, only with a growl for Sith, you know?
Fascinating.
Yeah, I am very reliably informed Sith don't do that. Says Sen looking,
You got out of the habit eventually.
innocent. Yeah, eventually.
May the Force serve you as you please it to.
Thank you. You too.
That kind of sounded like it was from a trashy romance.
Yes, I know, that was the point. She wouldn't accept anything less.
You can get to Manda's small quarters in a reasonable amount of time. They are not far from where you are. There's Amanda lying down, and the place is clearly she does not feel well. You know how it is when you enter a sick room and someone is, well, sick.
Sen, darling, would you do the honors?
Yeah, let me just get some water to mix it in with. We brought medicine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, you good young people. Oh, I feel awful. Oh, I hope I'm not. You shouldn't get too close. You might catch it.
No, we're pretty sure it's something you ate.
Oh, I don't usually have allergies, but you never know what's going to happen on some strange planet.
No, we did some investigation, and apparently you aren't the only secretary candidate who came down with an illness, and it seems you all ate similar things.
Oh,
Yes.
I better be careful. I'll have Dr. Kenso test it all before I eat anything else that isn't absolutely safe. Oh, ration bars for me, I guess.
Well, we had a conversation with some individuals, and my understanding is the contaminated foodstuffs have been dealt with.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Now, drink up.
Oh,
This
it's
will
just
make you
better.
feel a lot better.
Okay, all right. She will, indeed, drink the water, and well, that does help a bit, yes.
Turns out she was just dehydrated.
Well, I mean, probably a little of both. You can probably give her a few more doses, assuming you're not doing very much at a time, until she feels much better, and then she's just going to sort of have a little lie down to compose herself, and you three can go back to your quarters as desired. Or not.
Ren's already halfway there. What are you
After all,
talking
Ren.
about? We've also been
And you
playing
can
for about an
discuss
hour.
amongst yourselves. Oh, we should probably take a break then?
We could.
We could. Although there's not much left to do unless you're going to have a long discussion about any green circles you find.
Ren has been using telekinesis other to scour away all green circles with sand.
And not etch them into the walls. Okay, we should take that break, shouldn't we?
I'll hit pause. Now I have.
Okay. Now is the time when all good PCs have presumably returned to their quarters to decide what to do with the information that they have and the credit sticks. And the GM will let the PCs debate amongst themselves what their desires are for what happens next. The players are all extremely silent, afraid that if they say the wrong thing, the GM will drop a house on them. Okay.
No. Ran is the one who drops things on people. Right now, Ran would like to be in orbit, so the Star Wars equivalent of a tactical nuke can be dropped on wherever a Siege is based. And if we accidentally put in the coordinates for various hut establishments, there will be a single tier shed.
Now, there's a lot of people working for the hut who have not precisely chosen to do so.
That is why the tier will be shed.
I see. Well, Sith.
Ran didn't get where Ran is by being nice. But mostly, Ran would like to see the person who defeated him in the telekinesis other battle meet their end. TK other this.
Well, you have back at the location Buck and Wade, who are probably awake enough to peer out of the servants' annex to your room, your suite, and do a certain amount of everything okay?
Nothing that you need to worry about.
You said it, boss. Bosses. Ma'am, sir.
We got all the sand out of the shield generator.
They let sand get in a shield generator?
It's simply appalling.
You should see the wiring. Actually, no, you shouldn't. You would end up not wanting to touch any electrical devices inside this apartment here.
Right. Yes.
Come to think of it, Rand did not turn on any lights once Rand entered. And also, Rand is less jealous of the Keurig. Using it might cause a small explosion.
There is that risk now, isn't there? Well, it probably depends on if it draws large amounts of power and requires a steady power flow.
It's a Keurig.
How much power can one Keurig draw? 3 kilowatts?
The problem is the person designing it sneezed and put the decimal for how many kilowatts it needed in the wrong spot.
Buck, who is taking care of Wade, who is just sort of staring at the ceiling with a great deal of probably existential questioning of his identity as a human, a bird, something. Anyway, it's Buck who says, so, is everything done here and stuff, or are you staying longer?
Oh, the cred sticks that BV gave us, are they generous, insulting?
They are fairly generous for what someone could be expected to have on them. You've got about 600 creds each, not each, total. So it's like 200 creds each.
Okay.
I mean, some people might consider it insulting for Sith, but it looks like an amount that was meant to be reasonable for not knowing what the going price is for Sith to keep their mouths shut. You probably could have haggled more, but it's also a fairly large amount for a random secretary to have on hand and be willing to give out. So I will note that down.
With appreciation for what Sen said, what's the going rate for a shuttle pass off this planet?
Probably about 150 creds. And that's for lowest, riding in the trunk kind of.
Right.
You're basically sitting back there with the cargo.
And Tuxa will pass her cred stick to Buck.
Ma'am?
Some seed money. You're a good kid, Buck. Get out of here. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere that isn't this.
I kind of don't know where to go, ma'am. I,
Well,
you get in trouble, your family gets in trouble in hut space, and then they can't pay enough, and you know what happens then.
well, of course. Sith are always looking for good help on Dromund Cause.
You could put a word in for me, sure. I mean,
Well, I don't see why not. You've been nothing but helpful. Aside from, the little business with the bomb, and that showed initiative.
I was just trying to be, accepted into the gang.
Oh, I get it. Trust me, we have initiation rituals as well.
Yes,
Anyway, if you'd like, you may come with us, and you may consider that a down payment on a paycheck.
Thanks, ma'am. I will. Yeah, sure. Cause I don't think I can get off world without y'all. Cause I mean, they'd stop me at spaceport.
Well then, I will make sure that you are not stopped.
Thank you.
Is Wade on his way to a recovery?
Yeah, he's just he gets quiet like this sometimes, and he's been thinking about stuff.
Well, understandable. He did try to scratch me, so
I'm sure he's real sorry, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sure too.
And I've been explaining things to him, ma'am. I'm explaining things so he doesn't do anything embarrassing.
Like yell foos at random people.
He only does that a little bit in his sleep.
I said that out of context, but still.
No, I think we should keep it. I think we should keep it.
That's what Rand said about the malfunctioning droid.
Yep. And that's why you have a slightly malfunctioning droid now.
If you'd like to tag along, I'm sure we can remand Wade into Manda and the good doctor's capable hands. In the meantime, we really must make our report to this Chogga person. Chog?
Chog.
They named the planet after themselves, but don't do it properly.
Chog. In fact, you heard Vivi saying things like Boss Chog.
It's the player who gets them mixed up.
That's fine. I mean, honestly,
Tuxa has far too good, and Tuxa's social graces are far too good. Unless she's deliberately trying to tweak his nose.
Yes. Buck does a really terrible kind of bow nod thing and says, "I'll talk to Wade and get him to figure out what he wants done, because he ain't got much left now, because the rest of the gang got it."
Oh, that's terrible. Well, perhaps he could come to Dromund Kaas too. I know we're always looking for, again, good help.
I'll talk to him, ma'am.
I would be happy to put in a good word for him.
Thank you, ma'am. Buck will duck out of the way and let you two go to seek an audience with the hut.
Oh. And Tuxa is not going to do another costume change. She is happy with the clothes she has on.
Okay, the confection of lavender and lace and sweeping capelet thing. Well, not capelet. It's more like a lace shawl / cape. Drags the floor, if I recall correctly. Yep, that thing. Drags the floor a little bit if you do not have it, completely up.
Little repulsors sewn into the hem.
Ah, yeah, I can see that. It hovers and makes a slight hum when you turn them on. You are certainly getting a lot of attempting to be inconspicuous looks from the people you pass in the hallways, all of whom tend to look a bit stunned.
Again, this is the intention.
It is, in fact, very stunning. That's That's a picture. That's definitely a picture.
If people are looking at me, they're not noticing Ran and Sen going off and doing things.
Good point. Ran, Sen, what are you doing while Antux is sweeping through the hallways towards the hut?
Was there something we were supposed to be doing?
I think it was suggested that we disable certain cameras.
Well, you'd already probably disabled those.
True.
But, she can wait till night again.
Okay, well then we're just following along, waiting for either for all of this to be resolved or for us to have to do something without being noticed because somebody is dressed extravagantly. And I would say putting on airs, but that would imply that they weren't already on.
Or that they didn't deserve to be on in the first place or something. Indeed.
Well, yes.
Those airs are there.
There is an air to it, yes.
Yes.
Well, somebody brought the AC. There is air.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. There are the usual hangers-on, a number of whom are probably involuntary employees to the hut. The hut's major domo is on the dais with the hut, Chog, labeled just as the hut on the icon. You can gain entry quickly. There's music and discussion, and this is apparently just how Hut feels like hanging out and observing the employees or otherwise standing around waiting at the Hut's every whim, playing soft music, that kind of thing.
Oh no, it's light jazz.
Probably. Huts seem to like it. The Hut goes, ah ha ha, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, darling, it is so good to see you again. And I have excellent news.
The Hut switches to basic. Excellent news. Speak.
Well, we have located all of the rifles that you were to have received, and their power packs are charging now. The shield generators have been found to have had faulty wiring attached to them. And Ran, what was it with the turrets again?
Faulty wiring again. Apparently,
that's right.
If you wrap live wires in oily rags and then bury them in the sand, bad things happen.
It wasn't
you get the most interesting
bad.
You get the most interesting glass sculptures, though.
Glass sculptures. Very good. We can sell those.
Indeed.
All the sand that got in when someone was trying to fix the thing didn't help. With the shields. Not the turrets. There was no sand in the turrets.
I will talk with
there was a normal amount of sand in the turrets.
It does get everywhere.
Fine engineers are repairing the wiring as we speak. The rifle packs are charging. The rifles are all present. The Empire has held up its end of the bargain. And, as I have seen on the paperwork, so have you. So, I believe we're finished. We can get out of your hair, so to speak.
Chog mutters something in Huttese to his major domo, the Duros here, who whispers things back. The Hut says something more angry in Huttese. The major domo makes conciliatory, what can I say? Chog heaves a sigh. Everything in order, you say. All the rifles.
Oh, yes.
The equipment is not defective.
No, it appears to all be in working order.
If I find that there is an error in this, I will talk to your master again.
Then I look forward to visiting again and attending another one of your lovely parties.
All right. Very well. You may stay, depart. Dismissed. The Hut waves a hand dismissively and somewhat grumpily. Obviously, he was looking forward to getting things free. Yeah, getting some money back. Unfortunately, people have been checking your work, and they probably went and counted all of the rifles, and, well, what do you know? There's much harumphing.
Well, shall we get away from the sand?
Ran was closest to the door to begin with and is already heading towards it.
Wonderful. Let's go back to the planet of rain. If we mixed them together, do you think a decent planet would come out?
You know, I am sympathetic. My people have 18 different words for snow, and none of them can be used in polite company.
There's criffing snow, and there's carking snow, and
The Imperial
There's
military
Rex.
has 26 different words for MREs, and Rand does not understand why most of them cannot be used in polite company.
interestingly, you can collect all of your personnel. You get back, and Buck says that Wade would like to come along, if at least to the starport, if that's all right.
Of course.
You may bid farewell to Manda and Dr. Kenso if you desire. Get your
Oh, yes,
bags
I'll
packed.
I will see if Manda is feeling better.
She's feeling much better, and she's so glad that you found the medicine, and she's going to make sure that she doesn't eat anything that she doesn't know is not expired. She's a bit concerned about some of the canned food around here.
I'm sure Rand will take it off your hands if you don't want it.
Thank you very much, and you're going already?
Yes, unfortunate. We have been summoned home. So it was such a pleasure to meet you, and I do hope our paths cross again soon.
I certainly hope everything goes well. Glad that you were there, and glad to meet you too, and thank you for saving us from being eaten by those things.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Well, if you ever drop by, I'll have some safe cookies and whatnot for you that aren't made from expired things.
I definitely appreciate it. Take care
Rand
of
is
yourself,
appalled.
Manda.
You too. Cookies?
No, not made from expired things. The expiration date is a suggestion. It's still good for another decade or 3. Especially
You
on a
never know.
desert
Rand-
world. There's no moisture that can get into it.
Only
And
sand.
sometimes I wonder how you do not have leptin.
A genetic failing, I'm sure.
Are you sure that there weren't any, like, Twi'leks in your family ever?
My parents never spoke of it.
Well, they wouldn't.
True. Anyway, if that's what you're going on for a reason why I might have that bit of ancestry, that would imply that a considerable part of our branches of the military have the same genetic history.
I didn't know your DNA was so widely traveled.
Well, given some of the things you eat,
What?
I have learned that, first, criticizing him for his choice of food is not going to get very far, and second, it leaves more good food for us.
us?
Do
I
you
mean,
not
I
like
think
good
it's
food?
I think it's perfectly edible, but
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, you may have at it.
On that note, I suspect that we shall simply end off with banter as you get your things together and pile into the air car that has been summoned for you.
And resist the
Well,
urge
I
to
am
check
kind of
Buck's...
looking forward to
Sorry, you go.
talking to Darth Chardonnay.
Ah, I see. Do you want to do a debriefing for that then? I think
Would
we
that
have a
be
little
okay?
time. If no one else objects. Are people checking? Sorry. Ran and Sen had things to say.
Oh no, it was continued banter.
Oh, okay. Sen.
I said I'd love to.
All right. Do we want to continue the banter and then go to Darth Chardonnay?
I'm
Or
okay
we
with-
go
Is
to Darth
this
Chardonnay?
the GM saying that we need a moment?
This GM prefers banter.
Please feel free to banter while I find the proper map.
It's theater of the mind. I need to find the right map for it.
Yes. There. Oh, that's got the old icons on it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fixable.
it's theater of the mind. You just have to put drag the new ones on.
Well, you'd have to. We don't have that ability.
You don't have that ability?
No.
Why not? How do I give you that ability?
It's in the settings. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I forgot that I put Rotini over there on that lounge chair.
Yes, all the other PCs are
And
there as
the
well.
other chair over there. They're oh no, they're multiplying.
Oh, now there's a double Antuxa. With a double Antuxa, you can delete whichever version there you want deleted.
I tried to move to the
think.
couch and it said that collides with at least one wall. There we go.
In fact, I cannot delete it.
Oh, which one do you want deleted? The one on top or one on the bottom?
The one on the bottom is fine.
Okay.
Oh, and I think everyone can control the ship. I could be wrong, though.
Hey, Joel Rock's back behind the desk, too.
Yes, you hit a Joel Rock. We hit a Joel Rock there.
And there's a Rotini in one of the side rooms.
Mm-hmm. You can ignore the assorted random ghosts. It's like when randomly you get some of your Switor companions showing up, usually in their underwear, which is extremely alarming.
Yeah.
Well, we can also...
It's their clothes and not them.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Well, with the old RAN icon and the new RAN icon, you could also ignore the assorted RAN.
There is that. I had a weird thing happen. Okay, my warrior has not yet picked up what's her name? The ex-Padawan who I suddenly blanked on. Jace. Yeah, my warrior's not picked up Jace, but she was running around in her stronghold and Jace appeared. Like, you know, the random your companion appears here for a while. And it's like, why is there a dark Jace in my stronghold? Well, actually, it's why is there a Sith in my stronghold? And it's like, wait a minute, is that dark Jace? What?
But was she wearing clothes?
I think so.
Astonishing.
I have a
Usually when the companions do that, they are not wearing clothes.
I know, it was really weird.
Anyway, everyone in this scene is wearing clothes except for the spaceship.
Yes, everyone here is wearing clothes. There are clothes here. No one is in their underwear alone.
Ran is still wearing a military uniform underneath his Sith robes.
I mean, you're kind of allowed to do that sort of thing because, hey, who is going to tell a Sith not to? I mean, other Sith, but... So, you all file in, fresh off the ship, or at least after a quick trip to a fresher that has, like, actual water, because if there's one thing Dromankas has, it's a lot of water. It does, in fact, rain there a lot.
We wash away all the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wash away the sand that we didn't think we'd washed away.
Mm-hmm.
We had, but we washed it away anyway.
Presumably you leave your 2 new hangers on probably at Rand's place with the droid to watch over them.
Rand's place is getting cramped.
Well, it's temporary.
They're only there while we're meeting with Sharknak.
Yeah.
Otherwise Antuxa will take them in, at least for the time being.
It's probably good that they're with a droid to tell them how everything works. Otherwise, you might find them like huddled under Antuxa's bed or something, cowering from the lightning. Oh, that's a nice outfit. Is this what she's wearing?
Yes.
It's a robe with sort of some lacy mesh dress underneath. That seems very Antuxa. Gold hair ornaments and yeah, okay.
It appears to have an absence of sleeves.
I mean, there probably are there's sleeves. They just, go into the rest of it.
Anyway.
You file in, fling yourselves on the Nerf leather couches, and Darth Chardinac is probably going to be behind his desk, which I cannot do because there's too much snapped grid going on. Well, that'll do. Leaning elbows upon it and leaning his chin on his hands. All right. The preliminary report said everything was fine. The HUD is not asking for extra money. How did it go?
We met an eldritch horror, my lord.
Another one?
Another one.
We do seem to attract them, don't we?
I'm concerned about letting you stay on the planet.
Oh, we know there are eldritch horrors on this planet.
That's part of why I'm concerned.
Some of them, I think, run the sphere of mysteries.
Yes, but we don't say such things. Certainly that's who's running their black budget, but we don't say such things in public.
Indeed, my lord.
All right, give your report about eldritch horrors if necessary. We can probably sell the information to someone, or not.
Well, it all started when... Let's see, when did it start? Was it the bomb, do you think?
Well, that's when it started for us.
I
Yes,
think it
that's true.
started when someone decided that they were going to try to put people in each other's bodies.
Yes.
Yes.
Age-old tale of someone growing old and not wanting to have grown old.
Usually people resort to Sith alchemy for that.
In this case, they
Well, it wasn't
resorted to a bargain.
Sith alchemy.
An eyebrow creeps upward. Well, eye ridge.
Do we still have
Well,
the book?
there was...
Did someone grab the book?
I can reproduce the book.
I thought we gave Entux the book.
And
I
Tuxa
may
probably
also
has.
have the book.
You hand over the book, and your copy of the book, and your copy of the copy of the book. And inside this copy of the book, you open it up, and the pages have been carved out, and inside is a smaller copy of the book.
And I put that book in a box, and I'll mail it to myself.
Oh dear.
And then put it in a printer.
Yes, here is the book full of dubious rituals that we found, and I did take on the way back the liberty of making a digital copy of it.
Ah, excellent. Carefully flips through the hard copy, sets it on the desk gently, as one does with something that might actually be valuable. Looks at the scans. Some of these do not look very plausible.
No, I thought so as well, but I am not, after all, an expert.
Sometimes it's good to have rituals that don't work. It misleads the people who are gullible enough, and the ones who are definitely not gullible enough, well, they feel better about themselves for having learned that they're better than that. Either way, you make money off of it.
Either way, I can find something with it. That's the truth. It looks old. Maybe I can convince Ancient Knowledge to buy it. Anything else to report?
Well, the huts counted crates, not rifles. And it turns out, when you hook things up to faulty wiring, it appears to be faulty.
I see. Well, that is certainly why we put in the contract clauses that we did.
The Discord chat. I don't get the reference, but I'm assuming it's in-game lore for Star Wars The Old Republic.
It is in-game war for Star Wars The Old Republic Inquisitor plotline. Yes, it is. Did we just enable Sash's bad decisions?
On a side note, and you didn't hear this from us unless you needed to hear this from us, but it's possible that some of the equipment might have, after we left, been sabotaged by a third party. Noticeably sabotaged by a third party, therefore delivered working, and therefore we are not held accountable.
Precisely. Very good.
Oh, I do have one more thing for you, my lord.
Yes, apprentice?
She takes out the vial of blue powder that she pocketed.
And what might this be?
A custom formulation of a drug that I am told has both stimulant and psychoactive properties.
At the very least, we should be able to configure scanners to look for it entering without our permission. Very
Indeed.
good. Thank you, apprentice.
I live to serve, my lord.
And you are doing a very good job of it. Well done. Well done, all of you. I will expect the detailed written reports later that leave out the things that need to be left out.
Of course.
He looks around with the very clear anything else.
I can't think of anything. I had some excitement when I discovered what it felt like to be a pincushion, but that seems very, well, it's in the past and not particularly relevant.
Beautiful.
That came through as a mumble.
Sen, yeah, that's Sen sort of muttering to the others. Well, we recruited a couple people.
New
That
servants, my lord.
report worth.
Yes, one of them was a bird for a while, but he got better.
A
Does he
unique perspective.
Does he remember being a bird?
Vaguely.
Might be worth talking to some people. I'll send a droid over to take his testimony. If it's interesting enough, we might be able to sell that somewhere.
Someone
Indeed.
was trying to put himself in his nephew's body and his nephew in his body.
And the Eldritch Horror decided that it would be a three-way transfer instead of a
we
two-way.
ended up with the Eldritch Horror in his body, him in his nephew's body, and his nephew in the bird's body.
Yes.
I definitely want a report on that, but it needs to be hand-delivered, not go through the wires. Understood?
Indeed.
Yes, my lord.
Good. All right. Well, my own apprentices, I can give this outright, and Ran, I'll make a request of your master that you get the next week free, because after that is the fealty holiday, and I'm sure that you're going to want to enjoy yourselves before tax season starts.
Thank you, my lord. Are you, forgive me, I can never remember. Are you one of the, do you object to receiving eggs?
Only if they're raw.
I see.
It's tradition.
It's a very strange tradition, but I keep it up. Thank you for your time, my lord.
Of course, go enjoy your week and perhaps spend some time with the training droids on parrying the swift flying pins so that you don't become the cushion.
Indeed, my lord.
Dismissed. Go have fun. Try not to break too many expensive things. And with that,
Do Eldritch Horrors count as expensive?
well, they're not
We-
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, you people didn't break it. It's not your fault problem.
Plausible deniability, although we did give some coordinates to the ship captain about orbital bombardment.
That was taken under advisement because they're a transport ship, not a warship. They'll pass it on. Also, you're not offense or expansion and diplomacy
Well-
or even defense, so, you know.
Look, I understand that you dump your trash compactor contents before going into hyperspace. I'm just asking that you drop it here.
See what I can do, my lord.
Thank you. It actually will be better that it's trash.
Is there any last banter as you three make your way out of the very plush office?
Well, I really should look up the social calendar. Any party I go to, you two are, of course, invited to, if you'd like to. I know that isn't really your sort of thing, but I confess, I have been missing galas of the sort where you don't get sand everywhere. And there aren't monkey lizards leaping about and cackling.
Or teacup rancors?
I thought the teacup rancor was kind of cute, actually.
I shall give you a call if I find anything interesting. Until then, I am sure you have your own things you'd prefer to be doing. So I will see you on Fealty Day.
Time to make some 30-hour eggs.
Yes, I may have Buck do that.
It's
You're gonna have to explain those to me.
I don't mind the 30-hour eggs, honestly. I just dislike the holiday music that starts a month early.
Well, good news, we missed most of it.
True.
Okay, but the eggs, why are they 30 hours?
A typo, I think. But by the time it was discovered, it was already too late. At that point, we'd always done it that way.
Do you need to, like, watch them the whole time?
It depends.
On?
The cooking procedures, whether or not you want the egg to explode, whether or not you want it to be a charcoal briquette,
So, yes.
whether or not you want it to be an exploding charcoal briquette.
So, yes, it needs to be watched the whole time.
I think the point is you don't have to do it. I think these days most people use droids.
And there's a few businesses that spring up around the holidays every year that do it for you. For
On the other
a
hand,
fee.
some people are traditional and insist on stirring the pot themselves, notably my parents.
My mother had her own
Which is
recipe
why-
as well.
I hire a droid.
On that note, shall we end for the evening?
Oh, I suppose.
There's a
Does anyone
very
have anything?
small percentage of people who are going to appreciate this riff that we just did.
Yes.
But I
don't
hope
know,
every
I-
single one of them is informed about it.
We will
Indeed.
cut to Sen desperately trying not to be the person who is attempting to buy a 30-hour egg 5 hours before they need it.
Someone may have a cookbook for 30-hour eggs anonymously delivered to Sen's residence.
Yes, but in time.
But in time, the cookbook might inform people how to turn MRE contents and one egg into what is believed to be a delicious 30-hour egg recipe. Now, does that tip someone's hand, or is that a false trail?
Who knows? Well, does anyone have anything else to plug besides 30-hour egg recipes?
I've been told that Io's mom occasionally, sometimes, writes books.
It might have happened once or twice. 3, 4, 5, 6, And where would one find those?
Nobody knows. It is a mystery. Every time I use a Google search, I get AI results that tell me how to make
Ugh.
30-hour eggs.
But have you tried going directly to elizabethmccoy.com?
You can do that?
Yes.
This changes everything.
Dun dun dun.
Why, I could do that, or I could use my Libby app on my phone to get them directly from my library, because my library purchased them.
Ooh. If someone else's library hasn't purchased them, they could ask their library to do so.
And somebody gets paid for that still.
Indeed. And I love it because free book on one hand, author gets paid. It's very ethical. And speaking of something, websites, I don't know.
We do have a few. If
Indeed.
you want to find all of our podcasts that we do, you can find those at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. If you want to follow us on the Fediverse, you can go to is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/cogwheelgaming to help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, new patron Liv Droman. Hello to the GURPS Discord, by the way. Glad you like the show. And patron emeritus Cindy.
Until next time, this is Beth saying, okay, ma'am, so this egg goes in the water and it boils at that setting on the dial. And every time the water goes to just above the egg, we add more water. And it has to be cold water, right? Got it. Good night, everyone.
Cut to someone trying to boil a 30-hour egg by adding their lightsaber blade into the water.
It may have been known to happen. Ah,
That might remove the water faster than you can add it.
there is that problem. You have to get like the little waterfall going and
That's
yeah,
how you get
it's a
steamed
problem.
eggs and steamed Sith.
Yeah. Why do you think that to sis are red?
Which would lead to the cleanup crew also being very steamed, but for a different reason.
Yes. Good night, everyone. We should go to
Good night.
Good night.